ing or infinitive? Do you know when to use one form or the other form? This is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, here to help you improve your English with minimum effort and maximum benefit. When do we use the two forms? There seems to be quite a bit of confusion. So the first point is to distinguish whether we should be using the present simple tense or the present continuous tense, and that's not so difficult. The present simple tense is used when we're speaking about something in general. So I go to school, I have breakfast, and when I come home I relax on the sofa. So these are just general things. Instead, at the moment, I'm not doing any of these things because I'm speaking to you, I'm looking at the camera, and I'm thinking what else I have to say to you. So the present continuous is used when you are thinking of or doing something at the moment, in contrast to the simple present tense when it's something in general. So once you've distinguished that, there are other forms that require you to use the ing form rather than the infinitive. One of these is after prepositions. So if a verb directly follows a preposition, you should use the ing form, such as before going to school, I have breakfast. So before going, or after coming home, I relax. So again, after coming. Instead, if you put something between the preposition and the verb, then the rule doesn't count anymore. So you can say, before I go to school, I have breakfast. So before I go is separating the verb from the preposition because there is I in the middle. So before I go to school is different from before going to school, I have breakfast. The same is after I come home, I relax is different from after coming home, I relax. So after a preposition, directly after a preposition, the verb has to be in the ing form. Of course, there are other verbs which require the ing form. They are usually feelings. Let's take a look at this document. So if you use a feeling and directly follow it with a noun, you can say, for example, I love books. But if you want to speak about the action of reading and you're speaking about something in general, you'll say, I love reading books. Instead, if you want to be a little bit more specific, you can then use the infinitive and say, I love to read Italian books. I'd like to specify that the Americans, rather than the British, are more flexible and tend to use the to form more often, the infinitive more often. But the British distinguish the general, for example, I like listening to music, from the specific, I like to listen to jazz music. So all the feelings, I love, I like, I don't mind, I don't like, I hate, I can't stand, are all followed by the ing form. Actually, as you can see from this table, I don't mind and I can't stand cannot use the infinitive. They only have the ing form. We must remember that you must put either the ing form or the infinitive. That's the only way you can use it. You cannot say, for example, I love swim or I love dance, because you can say I love swimming as a verb, or I love to swim in the sea rather than I love to swim in the swimming pool. I like to dance in the disco, but I like dancing in general. You can't say I like dance because dance on its own is not really a noun. I like to go for a swim. You can say a swim, but you can't say directly I love swim. You have to say I love to go for a swim every morning. I like to go to a dance every Friday evening, for example. Then other verbs which are followed by the ing form are start, stop, begin, finish, continue, postpone. They are all directly followed by the ing form. Some things you have to learn off by heart, such as I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. And then you must remember that when we're speaking about feelings followed by the ing form, this is when you say a pure I love, I like, I hate. As soon as you make it conditional, I'd love, or I'd like, or I'd hate, then the rule doesn't count. You have to say I'd love to read your poems. I'd like to listen to your new record. I'd hate to see the School for Scandal. So I like followed by the ing form, but I'd like followed by the infinitive. Okay, so this is the general rule. There are some verbs that you can't use in the ing form on their own. But that's quite a long list too. If you remember that the ing form is used with the present continuous tense after prepositions, directly after prepositions, or after feelings, and after start, stop, begin, finish, continue, and postpone, you should be getting it right by about 95%. And otherwise, I recommend you look at the list of verbs, which is a little bit more specific. Okay, so I hope this was useful for you, and I look forward to hearing you in the next video. That's all then. Bye! Don't forget to subscribe.